recording here. I have started recording. Nahid bhai, please come up with the question. If you want to share, please go ahead and let me see what is your question if I can answer it.
I already see the Google Docs.
Okay, and before I go to Nahid bhai's screen, right? For your next class, my expectation. Let me clear out my expectation. This email, I have this SQL 3. If you haven't complete it. And the way we send homework, taking snapshot under the question, send it to me. This DB exam 2, DB exam 1, send it to me. Prepare a test plan with the point that I have mentioned and send it to me. And I'll be asking you, I'll be pointing out to a few requirements, right? Regarding this requirement, you write, I'll say like 2-3 test cases. I'll ask you to write these test cases and send it to me. You send all of this so that we can start a beautiful year this year. Okay, Habu? Can I text you? Doesn't matter, Didi. You keep watching, okay? Bye bye. Okay, so Night bye. Please go ahead and share your screen.
স্কাইপ থেকে আমার ল্যাপটপ থেকে শেয়ার করা যেতেছে না আমি স্কাইপটা ওপেন করতে পারতেছি না আমার মাইক্রোসফট অ্যাকাউন্টে ওটা সমস্যা করতেছে
ও বুঝতে পারছি আপনার পাসওয়ার্ডটা হয়তো রিসেট করতে হবে তাই না
পাসওয়ার্ড না পুরো অ্যাকাউন্টে মানে বাট আমি মাইক্রোসফট অ্যাকাউন্টেও আমার বুঝতেছি না আমার সমস্যা হইতেছে আমি আইপ্যাড দেখছি বাট আমি আপনাদের যে কিউআরিটা লিখছি কিউআরিটা আমি আপনাদের পাঠাতে দিচ্ছি রাইট নাও
Okay, let me take a look. Yeah, I can open it from here and I can share. Give me 1 second.
থার্ডটা
Oh, give me a second. Let me bring it up. When did you send it? Is it now you sent it?
and the Google Docs I shared with you.
Okay. 1 second. Let me just. I think I'll be able to get it. 1 second. Night bhai, do you guys still do the shop, grocery store?
আমি এই জন্যই টাইম দিতে পারতেছি আমার সেলিং প্রসেস আছে তো এই জন্য একটু আমি পিছনের মধ্যে আছি মানে আমরা অলমোস্ট ক্লোজিং আর কি উইকটা ক্লোজ করতেছি
Oh, you got a client who is buying this?
বাট ল্যান্ডলর্ডও ইয়ে করতেছে তো ল্যান্ডলর্ডের সাথে একটু মিটিং করে মানে আছে
I got it. Hopefully, you will be able to come up with a good solution on this.
উইক বা নেক্সট উইকের মধ্যে আমরা অলমোস্ট সব তো ইয়ে করবো আমি একটু
Got it.
পাঠাইছি যে
I got it. I was able to get it. I'm opening it, and after opening it, I'll be sharing. Okay, so I see your information. Let me share my screen in Skype. Can you see my screen? Guys, can you see my screen? Okay. So, Nahid, what is your question that you were not able to get a solution?
the last condition maybe I was not
Oh, sorry. Number 3 is find teacher's name and subject for a student whose GPA is 3.80 or lower. Is it the one that you are having issue? So find teacher's name and subject for students whose GPA is 3.80 or lower. Select. So we are looking for teacher's name. First of all, find teacher's name and subject. So teacher's name and subject from which table? From teacher's name column, we have it in both tables. Is that correct? Right. So if you have a column in both tables, then specifically you will have to say from which table you want the name. So select teachers.name and then subject from elementary students, teachers, where elementary students.id equal to teachers.student. Then what you did, less than or equal to 3.80, right? You will have to put right and less than or equal to 3.80. You'll have to put an and condition. You got an idea that I'm column recognize. If you have a column in both of the table, right? If you have a column same name in two table, if you are looking for the column from a particular table, then you will have to say name dot column. Does it make sense? Okay, so hopefully now you'll be able to send it in a correct way. Okay, all right. Uh-huh. Follow. Yeah, sure.
Actually, I have some issue with the test plan. But I just want to know about there's a time consumed, like how long when we start their testing with the.
I'm going to let you share. Do you have any further question on this? And you have to do it. That's good. You are trying here. You have to do it in the SQL query window. If here, it will. Okay, very good. So what you do from computer, when the query works, right? I see that you have provided answer. You can take the snapshot of the answer and you can send it to me. Sure.
Last class,
Uh-huh.
we could complete the query number 7.
We'll do it today. Other than that, were you able to do the remaining queries? Without query 7, were you able to do the remaining queries? Okay, very good. All right, then in this case, Naipa, if you do not have any further question, I'm going to go back to Naved. Naved, if you want to share, and let's see like what are the issues that you are having. Let me stop sharing.
I just from away. But may I open your phone number?
Let me see, Naved, 1 second. Are you sharing? I'm still not able to see your screen.
Stop it and then share again.
Okay. One second. Yeah, it is coming. Give me a second. Yeah, now I can see.
Your test plan, don't worry.
Uh-huh.
I have a question. Like, I think make the version 1 before. That's the version 2.
Yeah.
So this is a timing like June 28, 2013. So let's say let me open my one. I can compare. So this is my test plan. Okay. So if I make a test plan like version 2, and then what's the date here? Basically, I put July 12, 2018.
For you date, Naved, your date will be like when you are preparing it on that time. Your date will be the date from there.
Okay. that the date basically I put like December
Yeah.
29,
Yeah.
2019. Okay.
Yeah.
And another thing, go. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
I put January 5, 2020. I start the developing because I write down the test plan before, I think. Or
So this development, right? Let's say that if you look at the QA planning will be started once you have received the requirement document, right? Is that correct? QA planning will be started like before you get your requirement, you cannot start your QA planning. Is that correct? Now, when you receive the requirement document, at the same time, the developers will receive the requirement document. Is that correct? The developers will be starting their designing development, right? And you testers will start QA planning at the same time. Do you understand this?
QA planning start like let's say December, we get the requirement 20, and also at the same time the development started. You say?
Yeah.
Okay. These both are starting like the same time.
Yeah.
And I put my number the top of the header page. Like I'm starting like today. That's that date.
Yeah.
The QA test execution. That's the date. Probably I put the future date.
Yeah, that's the future date.
Smoke test and then QA subject to sign off. That's also the future date.
Future date, like by when this project will be done, and after QA execution, when the QA will be sign off.
This one sign off. This is the date I see.
Future date. This will be future date.
Yes, another.
Make sure that regarding the Mercury tours, right? You include all of the information regarding the Mercury tours.
It's almost like similar, but I changed some content because there is some validation is different between the Mercury and Hot.
So all of this, can you see here? Car rentals and cruises. This information will have to be regarding Mercury tours.
And then few of them I changed because that was not included in the Mercury tours. That was hardware, so I just changed it. And then I don't change all the names because it's
now one thing, remember, do not forget to mention all of this project background, testing scope regarding defects, right? Entry criteria, exit criteria. Make sure that you have it in your test plan.
What's the date? Basically, I don't.
Identify, select testers for UAT. So this one is activity, right? Testing schedule. Here a little bit details of the testing schedule. In this one will be depending on again can you identify and select testers for UAT. So this one will be in the beginning. You will be identifying that. Let's say if the project starts on January, you will be at the end of the year, or let's say July, August, right? But you will have to allocate resource. Who will be the resource in the beginning when you are making the plan on January or December, right? So, like identify and select testers for UAT. You will have to identify those testers in the beginning. Okay.
This is pretty much the date basically. I don't put any date here because it's like that's the question actually basically. But
Do you have any further question, Nabed? Yeah. Any further question?
SQL query I already that is correct.
So which one is that, Nabed? This one you are displaying. Can you explain? Can you go to the beginning of the homework? Is it SQL exam preliminary 1 or preliminary 2?
My email so it's better to understand. I submitted all of them to you. Associate CC, that's the first one.
Uh-huh.
And then the second
Hold
one.
on. From there, the first one, give us a walkthrough of your homework.
Also, I submit a long time ago also.
Okay.
But you always send it again, then I send it.
Okay.
Again.
So display name, SSN, city, and zip, right? Name, SSN, city, and zip. You have written your query. Basically, it is just a relation, creating a relation, right? And then query to display name, nationality, who live in zip 30044 and 30095. We have, guys, can you see like how he is formatting his query? Everyone, he's putting select name, nationality from DMB, social security, right? And then he's going to the next line. He's pressing enter and putting his where condition, and then putting the relation, and for the additional condition he's again pressing enter and putting the zip related condition, and then putting the zip in a parenthesis. Uh-huh. So Don's assistant, right?
Don, I think there's something in change it, something like that. So I think I don't change it the later. So I just
Okay.
just nationality match with my I think there's something SSN or something. That's why.
Display who lives in Bangladesh. Okay. So if you go to the next one,
Organization, employees.
okay, so here we have the organization. Is it the preliminary 1 or preliminary 2? This one. Preliminary, okay. Preliminary 1, okay.
Organization and employees. And then first correction. Some of them you already did with, but I make a with my SQL query the background skin and I put a screenshot because you already did the answer up to 10 or something, and you ask for the last 3 or something. The last 3 I think. Find the ORG name and E200. Find the EMP. That's 3 or last 4 or 5 I think you said to you guys by yourself. So and rest of the first 8 or 10 you already give us answer all of them.
But you have done, if you have,
yes, because I could not use the black screen. That's the white.
Yeah, got it. So last 3 queries, if you can explain more on this last 3 queries.
E200 organization name from both table and then relation and then
Okay, next one. So so here query 13, right?
yes.
I asked for all 200. You said all 100. Okay, that's a spelling mistake. Okay. The last query, find employees for XYZ LLC. right? Okay, so query 13. Sharmin, help me understand this query. Query 13, right? Fine, I'm not sure if you were able to review this information. Oh, Sharmin, are you in the call? She's not there. Elizabeth, are you in the call? Elizabeth, can you hear me? Okay.
Click, I show you the third one.
Yeah, we'll look at it. Just I'm trying to understand.
Which one is
Query 13. Can you see the screen? If you can explain a little bit, yeah.
আচ্ছা what I wrote আমি যেটা লিখছি ওটাই আমি বলতেছি
Yeah.
find organization name for 200 select org name from organization
Bhabi,
comma
query টা কি? Find amp name for org 200.
sorry
No problem.
find amp name for organization 100 select amp name from employees where org id is equal to org 100 so quotation and semicolon name first তারপরে then M3
So Bhabi, আপনি queryটা if you can tell me the query from the beginning. Select amp name from
employees org is equal to quotation org 100 quotation semicolon
So you didn't create the relation, Bhabi?
that এখন রিলেশন আর করি নাই just but it came out like amp name আর নিচে হচ্ছে M3
If you do not create the relation, right? Because amp name, but if you go to the beginning of the document, amp name is in what table?
second table yeah it's in second table actually it's in employees it's in employees table
Amp name, Nabed, in your amp ID, amp name, right? Second table, right?
employees table
And then org ID.
table
Org ID is in the organization table, right? Okay, so in this case, how? So when I'm saying find the amp name for now, if you go to the query, Nabed, so now, yeah,
আমার একটা ভুল আছে
so এখানে you'll have to create that relation, right? Organization.org ID, employees.org ID, and then you say organizations.org ID equal to 100 or 200, right?
এটা কেন এরকম আসলো উইদাউট ক্রিয়েটিং এনি রিলেশন এটা আসলো কেন এই আনসারটা আসলো
You got same answer. You will get same answer because org ID is there in the second table. That's why you got the answer. But to create the ideal query here, still you will get answer because we have the org ID in the second table. We have the both field amp name and org ID in the second table. That's why you got the answer. But I would prefer you create the relation and then you execute the query. Okay, so Naved, yeah, if you Raja bhai, Naved, can you bring the query 13? Raja bhai, can you explain query 13?
From the ORG 200.
So query 14 actually.
Look, find employee names from the XYZ LLC.
So find amp names for XYZ LLC. So can you explain this query? The query is here, you just explain it.
Try to open the table from right
Oh.
beside that.
Okay.
Organization and employee. This is the table. Query. To find the employee names of XYZ LLC.
Yeah.
The employee names are in the second table.
Mhm.
Called employees.
Mhm.
Organization names in first table.
Mhm.
That is XYZ LLC.
Mhm.
So select EMP name from organization. Employees, the relation between organization table and employees table.
Yeah. Mhm.
ID equal to employees.org ID. ORG name is XYZ LLC.
Okay. Were you able to write the answer for this, and were you able to send me? Okay. So you are planning to send all of this this upcoming week. Okay. All right. Now if you Aliza Bhabi, do you have any question on this? Okay. Nahid bhai, do you have any question? Okay. Okay. Very good. And then Naved, in this case, go to the next one.
Elementary students and then teachers. Then after here will be your capital P, and then greater than who is the GPS.
So the first question here: find all student information whose name contains capital uppercase P or lowercase p. Right now, Aliza Bhabi, can you explain this query, please?
Yeah. Let's start from elementary students. Their name like percentage P, percentage, quotation, or name like quotation, percentage P, percentage, quotation, and semicolon.
Okay, Bhabi. So why we didn't create a relation between the table here? Bhabi, the question here, why we didn't create a relation? Like, is it we are getting? If you tell me, elementary students and teachers, right? So asking find all student information, right? Student information whose name contains P or P. So that is what I am asking. So which table you are getting data from? We are getting data from both table or one table?
Name in teachers table and students name in elementary students table.
Okay, দেখেন ভাবি না ভাবি এখানে আপনি দেখেন find all students information whose name contains, we are only looking for students information,
Students table.
right? We are not getting anything from the teachers table, is that correct? So that's why we don't have to create a relation here. So we are asking, okay, get everything select ID DOB elementary students dot name GPA from elementary students, right? Where we put the condition name like P. Yeah. Okay. Next query. Razabai, can you explain the next? Bhabi, do you understand or you have further question on this?
এখানে তো দরকার only একটা টেবিলই তো দরকার, তো এই জন্যই আমি এটা করছি।
Yes, that is correct.
It just tell with like DOB and then you see the elementary student dot name. Actually, somehow I put like elementary. I don't need to like put elementary students dot name. I just put a name, but I already did it. That's why I don't change it. But you need to put elementary students dot name because we're using one table from the name. So just put it. So I just for
Yeah, that is correct. So that if you look at, if you guys look at it, name we have only in first table. We do not have name in the second table, right? So although he put elementary students dot name, he doesn't need to do it. He can.
Only name is enough, no?
Yeah, name is enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is correct.
okay, but I already put it, so I don't change it. But still is right, but I don't change it.
Okay. Now let's look at the next query. Razabai, explain the next query to me.
Find name and DOB for students whose GPA is 3.75.
Mhm.
So from the first table, we can get the name
Uh-huh.
and DOB of the student whose GPA is 3.75. So we don't need to go through the second table.
We don't need to go through the second table. That is correct.
It will be select name, comma, DOB from elementary students where GPA equal to 3.75 in the comma and semicolon finally. So we will get name and DOP from one table that is called elementary students. That's the first table, and where it's asking whose GPA is 3.75. So where GPA equal to inverted comma 3.75, closing of the inverted comma. And
Yeah. Bhabi, do you have any question on this query? Do you have any question, Nahid bhai? Let's go to the, yeah, go ahead, Bhabi. Okay, let's take a look at the next query. Aliza Bhabi, can you explain the next query to me?
Find student information for Mr. Brian. Like elementary student dot ID.
Third one is find teacher's name and the student and subject for a student whose GPA is 3.8.
Select teachers dot name, comma, subject from elementary students, comma, teachers, where elementary students dot ID is equal to teachers dot student, GPA less than is equal to 3.
Nahid bhai, if you take a look at this query, right, you had a similar query where it was not working. So actually here we have a name in both table. Elementary students, we have a name column. Teachers, we have a name column, right? Now we are looking for teacher's name and subject for students. So we are looking teacher's name and subject is in the second table. And for students whose GPA is 3.80 lower, GPA is in the first table. So definitely we'll have to create relation here and then we'll have to mention the condition. Now this query is here, you will have to write it, but feel free to let me know if you have any question. Important that you understand this.
relation for both the table
Uh-huh.
relation, then there's the condition.
Now condition here, why we have to mention both of the table?
Subject from second table,
Uh-huh.
and the student's GPA is given in the first table.
So that's why we have to mention both of the table. Now when we are mentioning teacher's name, why I have to put teacher's dot name?
Because there are two names
The
for
name
first
we have
table,
in both table. I got it.
both table.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay, very good. All right. So in this case, we are good on this query. Does anyone has any question on this? Babi or Razabhai?
Yes. Number 7.
We will go there, Babi. But on this one, do you have any question? Okay, very good. Let's go back to the next one. Find students info for Mr. Brian. Now let's get an explanation on this. So who is going to explain this to me?
Student info for Mr. Brian. We need the information from student table, and then Mr. Brian gonna be pull up the student information. So that's why I put a for ID. It's come with the elementary student ID, TOB, and then GPA. The name is both table. That's why I put elementary student dot name, and it's come from both table, and then we make a join, and then now we need find out the Mr. Brian. So I put the teachers dot name. Here I'm using the specific second table teachers dot name, and it's going to double quotation with the budget too, and then semicolon. So I get ID, and I get DOB, I get a name, and I get a GPA.
Okay, that looks good. One thing, Nabed, remember, students info, right? So here, when you say find students info, that means we are looking for all of the students, all information. That's why you mentioned all of the column name. Okay. Does anyone has any question on query 4? If not, let's go to the next query. Okay. Find teachers info for a student whose GPA is 3.95. Now, who want to explain this? Bhabi, you want to explain this? Query 5.
No, actually, I'm very bad at explanation.
But you understand this. We did it last week with you, right?
Yes.
So, Rajabhai, if you want to explain it.
Here we have to find the teacher's information
Uh-huh.
for the students who has the GPA 3.95 or bigger.
Uh-huh.
So we'll get the teacher's information from table 2,
Mhm.
and students GPA will get from table 1.
Mhm.
Here selects teacher ID, comma, teacher's name, comma. There are two names. The first table also there is a name, and second table also there is a name. So we are getting the teacher's name from the second table. That's why we are taking teachers dot name, and subject from the second table. So comma subject, and student from second table. So comma student. Students GPA will get from the first table, that is called elementary student table, and teachers, where the elementary students dot ID and teachers dot student, and the GPA of the student is lower than 3.95.
Got it. Okay, so that makes sense. So in this case, are we clear about this query or have question? Okay, so let's move forward. Query 6. right? Find subject for student whose name ends with Y. Who want to explain that? Naved, you want to explain it?
I need to find table from is go with the both table and put a from list and then make a join and then elementary students dot name.
Mhm.
So and then name like a Y percentage Y because we don't know
What is in the beginning? We know
uh,
what is at the
beginning,
end, so we do not know what is in the yeah.
second, yeah. We don't know the first, there's a put percentage in the first and then then Y and then we make a ELA. If we see the ELA is here, ELA 200 ABCY actually.
So find subject for student whose name ends with Y, right? Student whose name ends with Y is ABCY and his ID is 200, right? Now if you go to the next table, 200, what is that subject? ELA. So that we got from there. Any question on this query? Any question? Does anyone has any question on this? Okay, so the next one, where you have question, right? Find teacher's info for a student who has highest GPA.
The first you said you do it by yourself and then I search it in a Google and make a clear concept and start.
Now everyone has a question on this. You explain it.
Find teachers info student who's have a highest GPA. So I need a teacher info. So that's why I put TID from the second table, like teacher's table, and then teacher's name because name have it to both tables. So I put teacher's dot name, and then subject is only one table. So I put subject, and the student also the one table. So I put student from the both table. Put and then I make a relation. Here I the number three GPA. I need to make all of the like who is the greater than I don't specify the one like GPA. So that's why I put GPA greater than is equal to all. And then this is the sub query I use. Select GPA from elementary students and then comma teachers. And then this come with TID name.
Let me do it in a different way, Nabed, using subquery.
Because that's one also I traveling the first time.
Yeah, it will be more clear. Can you bring your table? Let us write it in a different way so that everyone understand this. Okay.
Yes, I think yes. Yes.
Okay. Now, our question here, guys. So find teacher's information for a student who has highest GPA. Now, try to understand this. Okay. We do not like this is a small table. The first one elementary students, we have only 4 records. Is that correct? That's why we know the GPA is highest. GPA is 4, and who is the teacher for this student? If you look at in the second table, 100, Miss Ellie. Is that correct? But the problem here in a practical field, the tables are so big. You might have hundreds of records in a table, thousands of records in a table, even million. So then you do not know what is the highest GPA, because if you have 1 million record and if you want to find one highest GPA from 1 million record, it will be probably a month manual. If you want to do it manually, it will take a month, right? So you have to write a subquery here. So if you can figure out from the first table for somehow what is the highest GPA, and then you can find out the teacher's information from the second table, right? Is that correct? Okay. So Naved, you write the query up to the relation, create up to the relation.
Teachers dot name.
Okay. So here, and now we have to find out, highest GPA, right? Then you say GPA equal to, and then put a parenthesis. Now we are going to write the subquery to find out the highest GPA from table 1. So select max in the parenthesis again, GPA, okay, from elementary students. Mhm.
Close the parenthesis.
Yeah, and then put, now you, so press enter, right? Now it's understanding part. So we have to write a subquery, and can you say it is easier? So we know that we have to find the teacher's information for a student who has highest GPA. We do not know what is the highest GPA. So what we did, GPA equal to, we have written another query which will get the highest GPA from the first table. If I ask you, okay, find the highest GPA from the elementary students table, what will you do? Select max. Max means, in the parenthesis, GPA means find out the highest GPA. What is the greatest value, right? Elementary students. So subquery is bringing the highest GPA number, and then it is bringing the corresponding teacher's information. Now, any further question? Do you understand what we did, or do you have any further question?
If you put like GPA equal to max and comma GPA, then also it's gonna give the GPA.
No,
Because that doesn't have the GPA, right?
no, GPA equal to max GPA, it will not work. You have to write this query, subquery. So this is what subquery, that is how you write subquery. Like if you do not know something, if you have to use another query, then you write the query in this way. Any further question, guys? Is it clear, everyone? Bhabi and Naiba, you have any further question? Good. Are we good, or have question?
If you guys want, I can share this one, like this problem with.
Yeah, Naved. So it is recording, but just take a screenshot. Actually, they can find it from. They can find it from. Actually, yeah. Let's share with the team so that they can execute it. If they have any question, they can come up with the question in the next class. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm going to add a few more SQL related queries, and then I'll be asking you, okay, write a couple of test cases. I will specifically mention like where, Nabet, after that, can you open the Mercury tools requirement?
Also, Dharmabhai, I did the test plan. Also, I think its test case is right there.
Uh-huh.
Send it to you, but if you just look at it.
Yeah, we'll be looking at it, but yeah, send it to me. And if you bring the requirement document, Mercury tools requirement document.
Requirement document.
I sent it in the previous email. If you take a look, this is a PDF document. No, this is not the one. Go back. Okay. If you can you see the one requirement? Yeah. So if you look at this requirement, if you scroll down to the no feature part, yeah, scroll down. Okay, here, okay. Now, can you do that? Clicking on this A, B, C. Scroll down. Uh-huh. Okay. Hold on. Scroll up. Scroll up. So if you can write specifically 3 test cases, scroll up all the way up. 3 test cases on requirement A, B, C. A, B, C. Write 3 test cases on these 3 requirement. That will be your homework. Write 3 test cases on requirement A, B, C.
Home page,
Left header corner.
ABC.
Yeah, ABC. These 3 requirements, write test cases on these 3 requirements. Sounds good, everyone? So what we are saying in the first requirement, right? You will see that will contain the hottest promotions as a banner, header of the page. So you are writing a test case to verify that. Left header corner, right? Left header corner is okay. The left header corner will contain the logo of Mercury. So these 2 test cases are very straightforward. You write 2 test case on this A and B, and then C. Left navigation menu will contain the following menu: home, flights, hotels, car rentals, right? You write 1 test cases on this C. It will be a little bit bigger, but other 2 test cases are very straightforward. Okay, so any further question up to this? Any further question, guys? All right, so work on this. We want to start the new year with a fresh start, with all of this homework being sent to me, so that I can review them, and I'll be sending. I'll try to send a few more queries, but if I do not send queries, you already have the 4. Uh, Actually, you already have 3 of the SQL that you will have to finish, right?
3 and SB exam 1.
Uh-huh. Exam 2.
So TB exam 1 and TB exam
2. So and the test plan, so that we can start the year with good progress. And if you do not have any question, I will be summarizing this session here. Do you have any further question, or I can summarize, stop this session here? Okay, all right, we'll talk to you Sunday at 9:30. Other than that, let me know if you have any question. Okay.